Space, the final frontier. These are the voyages of the starship Enterprise. Its 5-year mission, to explore strange new worlds, to seek out new life and new civilizations, to boldly go where no man has gone before.
Across the sea of space, the stars are other suns. Carl Sagan. Inspired by the Apollo missions, Princeton professor Gerard K. O'Neill started the movement to colonize space as a new frontier for humanity by writing and lecturing on the subject, and eventually by founding the Space Studies Institute. He published many papers and had many interviews talking about his ideas to colonize space. His goal was to relieve the strain that the booming population was having on planet Earth. Thomas Malthus, a famous 18th century economist, developed a theory that stated since the world's food supply grew at a linear rate and the world's population grew at an exponential rate, eventually the global food supply wouldn't be able to support the rapidly growing population. And when this point was reached, which would result in mass starvation, this would be known as the Malthusian catastrophe. So far, humankind has dodged the Malthusian catastrophe through scientific innovations such as the Green Revolution, where humans made significant advances in crop crossbreeding genetics in order to grow more food in places where it previously wasn't possible to do so. This has been so successful that the world's population has just hit 8 billion people. While that a great milestone, it is also putting even more of a strain on the planet's ability to support the human race. Without some serious innovation in agriculture or some new places for the human race to expand into, the Malthusian catastrophe could be right around the corner. This is why O'Neill's overarching goal was to colonize space, because in doing so, the human race could find new areas to expand into, and this would help humanity avoid the Malthusian catastrophe.
Gerard K. O'Neill was born in Brooklyn, New York on February 6th of 1927. After finishing high school, he enlisted in the United States Navy at age 17. His position as a radar technician sparked his interest in science, and this would eventually lead him into becoming a pioneer for future space colonization. After his position in the Navy, he would then enroll in Cornell University as a graduate student in physics. After obtaining his PhD in 1954, he traveled to Princeton University and became a physics instructor. This allowed Professor O'Neill to share his ideas of physics with the new generation, inspiring them so that maybe one day they would reach the goal of space colonization, even if he himself was unable to do so. O'Neill once said, "It is the hope of those who work toward the breakout from planet Earth that the establishment of permanent, self-sustaining colonies of humans off Earth will make human life forever unkillable, removing it from the endangered species list, where it now stands on a fragile Earth overarmed with nuclear weapons." Gerard K. O'Neill lived through World War II, the Korean War, the Vietnam War, and the rest of the Cold War. He saw the devastation that large weapons could have on cities and the environment. He dreamed of a time where humans had colonized space to deal with the problems of a booming population and the resulting increase in territorial conflict in the world. There are many practical reasons why one might oppose the idea of colonizing space, but when that is weighed against the inevitable reality that in the future the Earth will not be a habitable home for humanity anyway, it makes sense to take on the costs and technological challenges that space colonization entails. The fact that in 1 billion years the sun will be so hot that the Earth's oceans will evaporate, and that in 4 billion years the sun will become a red giant, incinerating the inner planets in the solar system, including Earth, makes it imperative that the human race learns to survive amongst the stars. When the people of the planet come to that realization, they will realize that by agreeing to the idea of space colonies, they could preserve the human race.
We know, unfortunately, that we are on a very fragile planet at the present time, with the enormous number of nuclear weapons that there are spread throughout many nations of the world. We're living almost on a time bomb at the present time. These are the most dangerous decades in all of human history. We have not yet quite broken free of the limitations of that thin biosphere of the Earth. Opening the high frontier means making possible and ensuring the survival of the human race.
O'Neill knew how dangerous humanity could be to itself, so the only option is to extend life beyond Earth in order to protect the future of mankind. There are many methods of potential space colonization, but by far the most popular was the O'Neill cylinder. He proposed that a cylindrical habitat would be the best fit for settling space, on account of having normal gravity, a normal day and night cycle, and natural sunlight. This habitat would consist of 2 counter-rotating cylinders. These cylinders would rotate at 1.9 rotations per minute, creating an artificial gravity on the surface like that of planet Earth. The inside of these cylinders would consist of many kinds of plants, creating a forest-like environment also similar to Earth. The ultimate goal of the O'Neill cylinder is to create an Earth-like habitat suitable for human life, and O'Neill invented a very intuitive design. Gerard K. O'Neill proposed several ideas related to space colonization and the use of space resources. Some of these ideas include space manufacturing, solar power satellites, and asteroid mining. In the case of space manufacturing, O'Neill proposed that space habitats and other space structures could be used for manufacturing and assembly, taking advantage of the microgravity and vacuum conditions in space. For solar power satellites, O'Neill suggested that large solar power satellites could be placed in orbit to collect energy from the sun and beam it back to the Earth, providing a clean and renewable source of energy. When it comes to asteroid mining, O'Neill proposed that asteroids could be mined for valuable resources such as water, metal, and rare minerals, which could be used to support space colonies and space manufacturing. Since O'Neill's public run, many people have come out and supported the idea of colonizing space, or at the very least, sending large equipment into space. People such as Jeff Bezos and Elon Musk have come into the public eye in support of the idea. Many people worry about the sustainability of a colony in space and other planets, and the possibility that supplies are no longer able to make it to the colonization. The people that live there will be able to live comfortable lives in the way of food, water, and a place to live. That is the idea of sustainability, and many people don't think that will be able to be achieved. Another drawback is that a project of this proportion would be an international collaboration that would need to be discussed and planned by every nation and corporation in support, so that those companies and governments can protect their people and money. All this being said, a colonization set up somewhere in the void of space could be a huge supply of new resources and rapid increase in scientific studies and findings. This will lead to more colonies across the cosmos, which in the end will help preserve and benefit mankind.
If Professor O'Neill's dream is achieved, the continued expansion of mankind could be measured with the Kardashev scale, which measures the overall technological capacity of a civilization through the level of energy consumption of that civilization. Within each stage of the Kardashev scale, a civilization captures exponentially more energy in order to further their progress. A civilization in stage 1 has developed a method to capture and store all of the home planet's energy. According to Kardashev, this amount of energy would likely be harnessed through antimatter, fusion power, and renewable energy on a global scale. Civilizations in stage 2 have advanced to the level at which they could harness all of the energy from their star. For planet Earth, this would be the sun. Harnessing all of the energy from a star would most likely be performed through the construction of a Dyson sphere, a hypothetical megastructure that would harness all of the energy from a particular star. Harnessing this energy would use many methods from stage 1, just at a higher scale. Civilizations that make it all the way to stage 3 would be able to harness all of their energy in their entire galaxy, which is just as crazy as it sounds. These civilizations would use tactics from stages 1 and 2 at an exponentially higher scale, possibly even harvesting energy from the supermassive black hole at the center of the galaxy. Influential figures such as Elon Musk believe that colonizing space is vitally important to the human race. Musk once said, "On that scale would fit life becoming multiplanetary. It would be as important as life going from the oceans to the land." Elon believes that in the near future we could encounter any number of possible catastrophes on Earth, such as an asteroid impact or a large-scale nuclear war. For these reasons, it's incredibly important for humanity to colonize space in order to keep humanity from going extinct.
Gerard K. O'Neill sadly passed away on April 27th of 1992 due to complications of leukemia. O'Neill's legacy forever lives on, not only through his shocking number of scientific discoveries, but his sheer dedication to the expansion of humanity through outer space. O'Neill will forever be remembered as one of the greatest contributors to improving the well-being of mankind and extending life beyond planet Earth.